Good evening and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukumwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni joins us for sign language interpretation. The Presidential Press Unit wishes to inform the general public that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has held a productive meeting with Excellency William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, this afternoon at Kisozi Farm. The two leaders discussed matters of mutual interest between the two countries, Uganda and Kenya. Secondary schools, government aided and private, who are participating in the 2024 selection of and placement exercise for senior 5 students have raised cutoff points, a situation they attribute to the good performance of senior 4 candidates of the year 2023. While officiating at the opening of the selection exercise at Uma Conference Hall, the Commissioner Basic and Secondary Education, who represented the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, said that this is the last selection exercise to be conducted in the old lower secondary school curriculum.
About 2,042 participants from government-aided and private schools across the country have started the selection and placement exercise for Senior 5 at Uma Multipurpose Hall, Nakawa. Majority of the schools have hiked cut-off points due to the good performance by the students. This is the last selection and placement exercise to be conducted under the old lower secondary curriculum.
This 2023 cohort of learners we are pressing in Senior 5 today, marks the last cohort of candidates sitting UCE under the old lower secondary curriculum.
Kawempe Muslim Secondary School has taken boys up to aggregate 17. From last year, which was 20, and girls' cut-off point this year is at 18 from 21 last year. While Ginger College, a boys' school, was given 110 students, lower than the 150 students posted to this school last year.
It's been 160, so there was an increment of 20 students. The cutoff this year has been 18 for girls. The change in cutoff is basically dependent on the performance.
This year our cutoff point was 26, this year it is 24. I think it is 24, meaning it has risen because of the good performance we had this particular last year.
In western Uganda, Rempara district, 260 girls gave choice to Chinoni Girls School, but they have only been given 110 during the selection exercise and are selling 45 to other schools. Ndagire Grace Tweheyo, the head teacher, Chinoni Girls School, says they will still admit some of the students on the unselected list. Gulu Secondary School cut-off points in northern Uganda is at 45 aggregates for both girls and boys.
Given 110 girls, starting from aggregate 14 to aggregate 20 to aggregate 41. Here the cut-off point was 45. So there is an improvement this time.
Quality, I see the quality of the student, they're okay. This particular year, we have got our cutoff at 45 aggregate, which is not very bad compared to last year when we went almost up to 50 aggregate.
The chairperson of the placement committee under the Ministry of Education and Sports, Jenegao, reminded head teachers and career masters to ensure equity, fairness and transparency.
The reason that secondary schools are admitting learners, some of whom are their old students, having sat UCE at the same schools, passed very well. Now you have a challenge to either admit or not admit, because you also have competition from other schools. There is the compassionate end that you want to have for your own students, but there is also the national competition that you have to deal with. You have to deal with the challenges of combinations, and so it is not as easy as we do when we are admitting the senior one leavers. I must emphasize the need for leaving some space for special consideration.
Through this exercise, 236,280 are expected to be placed into secondary schools. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has set 2 weeks for the recruitment of assistant registrars and other support staff to facilitate the mass identification renewal exercise. Applications for these jobs is online, and the URL link has been developed to be accessed by interested parties.
The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has announced the official commencement of the recruitment process of assistant registrars for the forthcoming mass renewal exercise. A URL link valid for a period of only 2 weeks has been generated starting tomorrow, 27th February 2024.
So tomorrow, 27th, please do what? Please start. We are going to make available 2 videos to ease or help those who want to apply.
The authority has elaborated on the new features included on the Form 3, which are mandatory for one to register.
Form has 3 parts. Part A, Part B, and Part C. Part A is information about yourself. It's your surname, your maiden name, your other names, your full name, etc., etc.
Unlike the previous registration, individuals are free to choose the names they wish to appear on their IDs this time round.
We will give you that opportunity to tell us that these actually are all my names, but because I have studied and registered late, I'm known by other names, 2 of them rather than 4 of them. So I want to use the 2. I want to give you all of them, but I want to use the 2 instead of the 4. This time we will provide that opportunity for you to tell us the ones you want on your card.
Meanwhile, the Directorate of Immigration and Police are hunting for an impersonator Okello Wilson over extortion through pretense. Okello Wilson disguised as an immigration employee and extorted money from desperate individuals.
That gentleman, the information now trickling in indicated that he's actually a thief who had started with the Bujiri Hospital, reported in. First of all, he claims to be working for the ministry so that he's given attention. And during that time he claims to be in hospital, a number of phones disappeared. So telephones disappeared, laptops disappeared. And finally, he also disappeared from that hospital in Bujiri. So we are looking for this gentleman.
In Kampala Metropolitan, the Directorate of Community Service, working with the Judicial Service Commission, have sentenced 88 women for child trafficking. The culprits are said to have recruited 3 children to beg.
88 offenders were sentenced, they are being imprisoned. The offenders will serve, of course, community, this being a petty offense, as a form of punishment, with their consent and the court's approval.
The Directorate of Immigration and Passport Office cautions the public against engaging brokers and other fraudsters roaming around the Ministry of Internal Affairs headquarters, purporting to quicken the passport acquisition process. Patricia Nandago and Abdul Nasir Lomama for UBC.
The Uganda prisons have not yet received any matching orders for the ongoing transactions between government of Uganda and the Chinese investor of Tiantang Group for the relocation of Luzira prisons. According to Frank Baine, this prison spokesperson, the relocation business is being handled by the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the investor, but prison services are yet operating maximally still at Luzira prisons.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni wrote to the Ministers of Internal Affairs and that of Lands, directing them to locate land in the Muyikwe district to relocate Luzira prisons. In the President's letter, the current location of Luzira prison is being gazetted to the Chinese investor of Tiantang Group to develop by constructing a 5-star hotel.
Very many of you sent me these copies. The one from the President and the one from the Minister, and asking me to give a comment. Unfortunately, government institutions don't work like you. You first have to wait until you are asked to act. So as far as we are concerned, this is a transaction or a conversation going on between the President, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and the Attorney General.
The Uganda prisons, however, are not moved by the ongoing transaction deals and are not yet officially notified for action forward.
Now, Uganda Prison Service is not part of this. It's not that it cannot be part, but I am saying that as of now, we are not yet at that level.
The prison spokesperson Frank Baini acknowledges the transaction process, and as prison services are waiting for the conclusion of these negotiations for response.
Matter, I don't expect anybody to call me to want to have an interview with me about this matter. Please contact Ministry of Internal Affairs, contact Attorney General, contact Office of the President or State House for clarification about this going on, because I have seen all the media is awash with this story.
If this transaction goes through, Luzira prison will be one of the major public installations government has relocated and land given to investors for development, particularly for construction of shopping malls and hotels. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
We have visited the scene of crime in Lunguja, where a fatal shooting occurred, claiming the life of one person. The head of the Ndiga clan in Buganda Kingdom, Engineer Daniel Bosa, was shot dead by assailants riding on a motorbike, who were later lynched by the mob, killing one of them. The forensics team has profiled the vehicle of the late Daniel Bosa and towed it away.
The head of the Ndiga clan, Daniel Bosa, was shot dead by unknown assailants near his residence, adding to the grim statistics of gun violence in the country. Following the incident, members of the public intercepted the assailants, killing one and injuring the other. Abdul Katabazi reported that he spotted the assailants and raised an alarm, causing their motorcycle to crash and leading to a mob gathering.
Najjayo mundu mu baaga n'agikwata bwati nesigala nga nkyajja bwe namutuuse bw'abanga akyuka bwati okunkuba amasasi nze ne munange mukisa emundu nemusimatuka negwa mu mandigaadi mu mpaji bwe yagudde mu mpaji ne mugwira ne mukwata mu bulago nange nankwata nalwana yadde mwana muto myaka nga 19 nenga ayina training ze namusinziza maanyi. But we want
to thank the community for their vigilance, especially the Boda Boda movement, who courageously pursued the assailants under danger, knowing very well that they were armed. It is a testament to good community vigilance and commitment to the neighborhood watch, which we encourage in all communities. But we also still have work to do, because once you pursue suspects, you corner them, you need to have them subdued and arrested, but not torturing them to kill them, because when you do that, it negatively impacts our leads.
Returning to the crime scene to get the post-incident mood, the vehicle remained on the ground with forensic teams gathering more evidence. 3 bullet holes on the screen penetrated and struck the area behind the windshield of the vehicle. Inside the bullet-riddled car, the deceased was accompanied by his wife and aide, who survived the attack. Peace Nambali, the late leader's aide, mentioned that she witnessed the assailants riding ahead of their vehicle. When the leader attempted to exit the vehicle, Bullets riddled the area as he raised his arms.
Njaja nakolachi nanesoka nagamba Yesu abo bakyamu yakyogedde emirundi esatu ogwokusatu yamaze nti bakyamu omusajja n'atwekika bw'ati mu maaso kuba abadde ayise ludda lwa wano owa driver wennyini n'asalamu bw'ati najjayo emmundu kuba olwedda adde yagikwokinze dda n'akuba essasi erisooka nerikwata jjajja neriyitamu neridda mu bbuutu nerifuluma mpaka wabweru yafulumidde mu bbuutu n'akuba abiri kumukumu awo neŋŋamba nenkutama bwe nti kuba eryasose lyampiseeko amalala tegampiseeko abiri kuba nakutamye neŋŋamba Yesu tusaasire tetulina musango tetulina gwe twali tusse.
The former Buganda Katikkiro J.B. Walusimbi, Pastor Dr. Joseph Serwadda, among other dignitaries, reached at home to condole. Various mourners continue to visit the late leader's residence to offer condolences to the family. Ivan Kahwa and Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
The leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, and shadow ministers have been denied access to the Boa specialized hospital construction site. Security asked them to present an official clearance letter from the office of the IGP.
Security manned by UPDF, police and private security sealed off the premises of Boa Specialized Hospital, barring access for the leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, and shadow cabinet and other opposition MPs who were scheduled to carry out an oversight visit.
Security on ground. You have not
Which security? Which kind of security?
The security for the premises.
Which security?
What
Commanded by who?
UPDF is police. Which security?
Is it SFC?
It is general security. What is wrong with
Are you in
security?
charge of general security?
Are you in charge of general security? I've already.
Senyonyi wanted to establish what's going on. Since the 3 deadlines set, there seems to be no positive response on the construction.
Billions of shillings have been pumped here on an annual basis. So we came to see what exactly is going on, because we can't keep pumping money, taxpayers' money as a country, into a project for which we have no clue what exactly is happening. Because even money was disbursed last December. There was a supplementary request of 2.7 billion shillings to be used to supervise the ongoing works. So we said, okay, let's come and see what's happening at this place where money is pumped regularly. Even when you stand, you can't see anything, except if they're saying there's an underground hospital, that kind of thing. But if there's anything happening, they would have let us go in there to ascertain and play our oversight role. But clearly, there is nothing going on here. And that's why they've denied us access. So I want to tell Parliament, let us stop sending any money to Lubowa Hospital. Let's begin to send that money to Mulago Hospital, to Naguru, to Kawempe, Chirudu, and all these different health centers across the country, which don't have equipment, which don't have things as little as gloves, drugs. Health workers are paid poorly and so on. That's where the focus should be, because at least those ones, they are operating. It's just that they have challenges of, finance. And
Drawing from Ministry of Health's clearance letter provided by Joel Senyonyi, police officers manning the area asked him to present an official clearance letter from the office of IGP that clears them to pay the oversight visit.
Hey,
the clearance,
asking for
can
clearance.
we call the Minister of Health? The clearance will be channeled from IGP to KMP, RPC, because you are VIPs. And we have to ensure you're safe.
Now, who has said we are not safe?
This is not in your line of duty. Can we take it that you're obstructing us from doing the work? If it's not in your line of duty, I need a clearance.
Consented by all authorities. Joel Senyonyi says the Ministry of Health has failed to account for the 300 billion shillings allocated to the construction of the hospital.
Because for us, we are saying, let's send the money there. This one here is a Chiwanyi. It is a fake project. There's nothing going on here. This Pineti, by the way, we want to fully understand Pineti, because she seems to have expertise in literally everything.
The multi-billion hospital project has been a subject of public debate since June 2019, when it was handed over to the Italian investor Enrico Pinetti's firm. Shaidat Nasakum, UBC News.
Wednesday, 28th Feb, the NRM party chairman Yoweri Museveni will launch the registration exercise of members and flag off the yellow roadmap. All NRM registrars will convene at the Electoral Commission offices for a 2-day training starting Tuesday, 27th.
Dr. Tango Doi is the chairperson Electoral Commission in the NRM party.
The party called NRM has started its process towards 2026. On Friday last week, we met the chairman of the party as secretariat, discussed details on our roadmap.
Addressing UBC this Monday morning,
the register and make sure that what we have by 2026 is a final product.
to prepare the ground, NRM has invited all relevant members in Kampala on Tuesday, 27th February 2024 at the Electoral Commission offices for an induction.
Tomorrow, we are getting our delegates from the districts. That's the district chairpersons, NRM district election officers or registrars, NRM administrative secretaries, and ONC coordinators from all over the country. The registrars are coming, not the assistants. I want to make that clarification. So they are coming to be taken through a training session on how they will handle the registration of members in the NRM register.
According to Dr. Tango Doi, shortly after launching the party activities at the Secretariat on Wednesday, President Museveni will move to Plot 13 on the same day.
His Excellency the President and Chairman of the party will be at the Secretariat on Wednesday the 28th, possibly around 10 a.m. to launch the registration process, and thereafter he will come to Plot 13, which is the home of the NRM Electoral Commission, to address the invited delegates and other supporters.
But was the reports of halting these activities by the Friday Bosa called SEC meeting true? This is a question we posed to Dr. Tango Doi.
SEC meetings are convened by the chairman of the party. I want to be bold on this. There has never been a SEC meeting until the chairman of SEC calls it. There was a meeting of SEC members, and what they did is write a petition to the chairman, but that does not constitute a SEC meeting. Therefore, no meeting has been called by the chairman of the party, YK Museveni, and no meeting has ever halted. No SEC meeting has ever halted the electoral process.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Gavumenti ya Uganda wamu n'ekitongole kyayo ekivunaanyizibwa ku bibalo ki Uganda Bureau of Statistics UBOS bategeeza abantu bonna abakwatibwako okuli abakulira abakozi ba gavumenti ku district, bameeya, ababaka ba president, bakalaani, bakansala, basentebe b'ebyalo, abatuuze n'abasuubuzi bonna okukwatagana n'abakozi ba UBOS abatandisedde okweteekerateekera omulimu gw'okubala abantu n'ebyabwe okw'okubaawo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 10 omwezi ogwokutaano 2024 okubala abantu kwakumala ennaku 10 n'ekigendererwa ekyokumanya omuwendo n'ebifo ku tuli bameka, tuliwa, tubeera tutya, tulina ki era wa gye tujja obuweereza. Uganda Bureau of Statistics etandise okuwandiisa amaka mu bibuga 11 okuli Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti ne disitulikiti okuli Kampala, Wakiso ne Mukono. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku nnamba z'essimu nooti 755-24-21-28 oba nooti 773-34-21-28. Obubaka buno bukutuusibwako akulira Uganda Bureau of Statistics era avunaanyizibwa ku kubala abantu. Kya mugaso okubalibwa. Census 2024, it matters to be counted.
If your dream is to study abroad and explore new horizons, mark your calendar because the Africa Students Education Fair, in collaboration with WR Education Placement Consultants, proudly presents the 14th Annual Africa Students Education Fair on the 1st and 2nd of March at the Sheraton Hotel, Kampala. Interact with representatives from world-renowned colleges and universities, explore study abroad options, and dive into a world of endless opportunities. Don't just dream about it, make it happen. For more information, call us on 0702 628 446 or visit our website asfevents.com.
We thank you so much for watching. It's UBC News Tonight. Court of Appeal sitting in Bali will hear over 20 criminal appeal cases in a special court session. The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera opened the sitting and said that for this court sitting in Bali, it's aimed at reducing a case backlog and transport costs to prisons. The appeal case to be heard include murder. The appeal cases to be heard include murder, defilement, robbery, and manslaughter.
The justices to preside over the 4th Court of Appeal session are Justice Frederick Egonda Ntende, Justice Christopher Gashirabake, and Justice Oscar Chihika. The session will include 16 cases of murder, 5 cases of defilement, 3 cases of robbery, and 1 case of manslaughter. Among the murder cases to be heard is the one for Nabigwa Musa, Walunyongo Mike, Opion James, Byangahango Edlisa, who appealed to this court challenging the death sentence, which was handed to them by High Court. The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera first inspected the police parade and later met with the presiding justices. Richard Butera told the media that the session is aimed at reducing case backlog.
Court of Appeal sessions. This is mainly to ease access to justice for the people of Uganda and thus for this region. This we expect to cut on the transportation, litigation costs, mainly incurred by litigants who travel big distances to get access to the Court of Appeal in Kampala.
Butela, however, called for an increase in human resource to other justice land order sectors for speedy hearing and handling of cases.
When these cases, very civil or criminal, come to court, we have stakeholders. Those cases will be heard if the investigations are done by police and concluded in time. The DPP has staff to do the prosecutions in case of DPP criminal cases, but also the Attorney General has had officers to conduct defense for the government cases.
The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butela later opened the session. Deborah Namamonde, Yiga Muhammad, UBC News.
The Diplomatic Students Union of Cavendish University in Uganda have preached unity and working together. They said this at an event where they celebrated cultural diversity, fostering peace and stability through diplomacy.
Government is in the process of merging over a third of its departments and agencies to reduce expenditure. Last week, the legal team from Public Service, Justice and Constitutional Affairs, led by Minister Nobert Mao, the Attorney General's Office, led by Chiriowa Chiwanuka, met the Parliamentary Legal Committee to present the bills, including that intended to merge government entities. Among the bills presented included the Constitution Amendment Bill of 2023, National Tribunal Bill 2023, and the Arbitration and Reconciliation Bill. Basing on Section 76(1) of the Public Management Act 2015, the committee halted the discussion of the bills for want of a certificate of financial implications.
There will be money to compensate people. There will be money to pay public carriers, to pay service providers. And they have brought a bill that does not say anything. We have decided to
adjourn, sine die, until this particular matter is addressed.
A certificate of financial implications.
It is basically a confirmation that this is going to cost this much, and the government is prepared to raise or find that money. If you are amending the penal code and you are increasing penalties, the government must assure you that when you increase the penalties, the convicts with that offense will stay longer in prison, and therefore the government will be able to feed them.
To acquire a certificate of financial implications, the process compels an engagement with the line ministry.
To provide information to the Ministry of Finance, which information is to justify the issuance of a certificate of financial implications. What is the impact of that bill which you intend to have enacted on the economy? Should that private member fail to come up with the information needed, then the line ministry will take up that role.
The certificate focuses on expenditure towards the government, which can also affect the taxpayers' money.
And whether government is prepared to implement that proposal bill. In fact, for a private member, you're not even allowed, you're barred from bringing a motion or a bill that will result into a charge on the consolidated fund, even if it is 1 shilling.
They will look at the budget, how much we have been spending on the 2 commissions, and how much we are likely to spend after the merger of the 2.
Nevertheless, it's also crucial for the certificate of financial implications to be presented before passing and tabling any bill.
The enforcement is by enforcement agencies. It could also mean that you're creating an agency which will require employment of people, of personnel, and the people will have to be paid. Construction of buildings, payment of rent.
What will be the effect of that law on our economy when it comes to implementation, when it comes to earnings of our country?
On several occasions, Parliament has passed bills without a certificate of financial implications, including the 2017 Tojikwatako bill, which was presented to Parliament by Minister Raphael Magezi.
It can be passed, but illegally. It may be strange and irregular, can culminate into uncertainties to the citizens of this country. They don't know what is the impact of the law on the economy.
With the waiting bill to merge government entities, legal minds say government is likely to incur expenses if the law is not keenly implemented.
We must do it in an organized manner. The cost of doing things in a disorganized way that we are being tempted to do is going to be humongous on the taxpayer. There are those that have added value. Yes, and irrespective of the cost we are incurring, which are worth maintaining on our register.
Shall we earn from it? Shall we spend more as compared to earnings?
In merging over 30 government entities and departments, government will save over 1 trillion Ugandan shillings. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugode, UBC News.
Yeah, we apologize for that mix-up. That was our story about the merging of government agencies. Our reporter Deborah Namamonde and Susan Nabagude talked to legal minds about the implications of the move by government to merge some of these agencies as the process is on, and we'll keep you posted as it continues to happen. Meanwhile, urban refugees in Kampala have called upon government to create awareness among law enforcement officers on the rights of urban refugees. They also appreciate the Norwegian Refugee Council for the support, information, counseling and legal assistance.
Urban refugees face challenges in finding affordable and safe housing, business setups and accessing legal information. It is against this backdrop that the Norwegian Refugee Council's Information, Counseling and Legal Assistance Program focuses on thematic areas to support displaced populations in Uganda and around the world. The Media and Communications Coordinator at the Norwegian Refugee Council, Dixon Odur, notes that through the support from EU ECHO, they have empowered displaced individuals with right information that has enabled them to make conscious choices.
We have been able to create awareness about legal obligations, such as opening up a business, like you've seen today, and paying some of the fees that is needed by some of these bodies, so that you run a business in the country. So when some of the displaced persons get involved in some of these activities such as a business, you'll see that they become not only productive members of the community, of the society, but they also contribute to the country's economy.
One Christian, Morula, a refugee from Congo, says that they started up a saloon business but encountered a lot of challenges with the law enforcement officers of KCCA and URA, who they think lacked basic information about urban refugee rights until NRC helped them register their business. Morula appreciated the government and NRC for the conducive environment for refugees in the country.
Or as a refugee-run business, we were encountering issues with KCCA, people of KCCA that are not informed. They even don't know the policies about refugees, that they have right to employment. We're coming, close our saloon and our other businesses. And when they ask for the documentation and we show them our documentation, they say, no, you should stay there in the camp. You are not supposed to stay in urban, what you're doing here. So we understood that they are not aware about the policies until we got to realize that we need to be recognized officially. That's when we ran to NRC to request for support and guidance over this. They helped us register with a new name.
Agri Nabong, a community paralegal at NRC in Indeje, Kampala suburb, says they have extended legal assistance to individuals who are in need, both displaced persons and host communities, especially on employment laws and procedures. Nabong says through their office, they managed to help a group of youths in a refugee host community to register their drama group that has boosted their livelihood and also created more employment for the youths in the area.
As ICLA, what we did was so simple. We drafted the documents, that is to say the constitution, to govern their organization. So we did the basic documentation, and indeed they received the certificate of registration to embark on their works they do. And as of now, things are moving on well, though they haven't reached to where they really want to be, but at least the beginning has been set.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Ministry of Water and Environment has dispatched a team of workers for environment to a sensitization campaign that encompasses trekking over 500 kilometers from Fort Portal to Kampala via Kasese, Mbara and Masaka. Uganda will in March this year observe another water week with the aim of sensitizing communities on the importance of environmental conservation and optimal use of natural resources.
Walking 500 kilometers for the cause of environment and water is a very noble cause. And for me, that is the religion which I believe in. Now I flag you off.
A team of workers for environment has started on a 518-kilometer walk to Kampala from Fort Portal Tourism City through Kasese, Mbarara, Masaka. This is in preparation for this year's Water Week in March. Before the flag-off, the team planted trees at NFA offices and sensitized Mpanga market dwellers on environmental conservation.
tugenda kwechumira akatale kanu koma kasasiro yona nuko abantu bona batururiyo.
This year's Water Week is on the theme Rethinking Collective Actions and Innovative Solutions to Water, Environment and Climate Change Crisis in Uganda.
If you go to the Nyamwamba system, for example, we have tried to clear the channel and we have built protection works so that the floods can be tamed and they do not reduce on the infrastructure. There are specific challenges within the Semliki catchment that we have also identified, and we are trying to mobilize resources from the different partners, including the local governments, including the traditional institutions, to address this. So there is a very big plan that we already have for that.
I'm Navka Farida and Shimono Dokas.
Ugandans have been asked to utilize the Lent period as they execute their day-to-day activities. In the Catholic faith, the 40 days of Lent are meant to look into oneself with God, as many Christians ask for blessings. This was disclosed by the parish priest of St. Andrew's Parish, Kichwa Mpoma Lugazi Diocese, Reverend Father Benon Chibirige, during the Thanksgiving for Mount St. Henry High School in Mukono.
Above all mentions that he has made. I'm so happy that I managed to raise a second grade of 39 due to the efforts and the plans that our teachers gave to us.
Because we believe whatever we achieved, whatever we attained, it was not by power, nor by might, but by the Spirit of the Lord.
What I encourage of you, please don't underrate yourselves. It's only through education that we can make our country the best place to stay.
Life is quite a journey that is always occupied with worldly affairs, and we tend to forget about our spiritual life. So we give thanks to God for this time of 40 days set aside to recollect ourselves.
The Rotary Club of Bokoto donated an assortment of scholastic materials to Chisule Nazarene Primary School in a bid to promote the reading culture among learners.
Reading is a bedrock of a learner's personal, social, and academic success. Inculcating the learning culture, however, requires concerted efforts of stakeholders, including organizations such as Rotary clubs.
Reading today has become very rare. People do not read anymore, and it is important that every school starts this basic reading skills right from their schools, from their classes, even from homes, because we need the reading culture is dying, and we need to inculcate a reading culture within our younger generation.
Through the Basic Education and Literacy Enhancement Program, Rotary Club of Bokoto has gifted Kisule Nursery and Primary School with an assortment of reading materials.
Our director, Director Nabila, for going out of the way to ensure that this is put together. And we are hopeful that basic education and literacy is going to become a program at the district, so that we continue with it year in, year out, to change the learners, to change what people think about education, and to change the whole idea about reading and being literate.
Earlier, the team read stories for the learners as a vehicle of lowering them into appreciating and adopting the reading culture.
Yes. Because she didn't know there were tangerines in her basket, and the two friends enjoyed the tangerine. Do you like the story? Yes.
The school management lauded Rotarians for the gesture.
Previously, the books were there, but not as much. But when they gave us that donation, it made our library better and better. Because now we have many books that the children can pick from. Previously, they were Few.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. On return, we'll have business news.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripusi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erunganisibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Hi, my name is Dennis Masindo Nyango, former Uganda Cranes captain and goalkeeper. My kind of a tank at home is a Crest tank. I use it at the farm and at home. I recommend it for everyone.
Business news tonight. The second round of the 2024 Technical and Vocational Education selections have started off at Ntinda Vocational Training Institute with the Assistant Commissioner for BTVET, Dr. Eddie Turiatemba, cautioning managers of government-aided technical institutions against charging exorbitant fees. The selection exercise targets government-aided technical institutions from the Central Region.
Managers of government-aided technical and vocational institutions have been cautioned against charging beyond the stipulated government charges. The Assistant Commissioner of Vocational and Technical Education, Dr. Eddie Turiatemba, flagged off the second round of the 2024 Vocational and Technical Education Selection Exercise for Central Region institutions at Ntinda Technical and Vocational Training Institute in Nakawa Division.
Our emphasis is to ensure that parents contribute minimally, that contributes to learning, that contributes to the content development, that contributes to the practice, not the issues of development, paying for development fees, paying for building materials, all that have been closed.
He advised the principals and managers of institutions to target specialized training courses depending on the needs of the communities.
TVET has embarked on implementing the new policy, TVET Policy 2019, that puts emphasis on skills and the competences of the learners that are within TVET institutions. And because of this, we have emphasized and we are advising all our institutions to specialize.
Some principals commented on the exercise.
It's according to the TVET policy, which we are adhering to, and we are really working closely with the government to see that we are going to impart technical skills and soft skills to our learners.
Normally liaise with the governing board when we realize that there is need for increase of fees, and we follow the procedure. We call for meetings, we explain to them, and the reason majorly is because of the high costs in the market.
There is a need for specialization, because if students specialize in certain courses, they acquire skills, and more, they advance in the skills which are required for job market.
Jane Yuramdisha, Collins Juko, UBC.
The youth across Uganda have been urged to embrace hands-on training so as to create jobs and curb unemployment. This was by Kakumiro NRM mobilizer Harriet Sally Aboli, as we have it in this report.
District Kasambia Youth Project has engaged youth in farming, decoration, mushroom cultivation, among other activities. Every after 3 weeks, they raise money through selling sweet potatoes, sugarcane, beans, pineapples, among other foodstuffs, to increase working capital for their project. The NRM mobilizer Kakumiro District Harriet Sally Aboli urges parents to take their children for hands-on training.
All parents who are fond of taking care of the girl child, protecting only the girl child, leaving the boy child to loiter around to do whatever they feel like doing. Remember, this girl child you're preparing are the leaders of tomorrow, are the mothers of tomorrow, are the nurses of tomorrow, are the doctors of tomorrow.
The chairperson Kasambia Youth Project, John Bosa Tegeka, says they started circles to transform their well-being.
And the chairs. So today we have made a fundraising to solicit funds so that we can help that attend more. The challenges that we are facing in Bukumi Dinale, the youth of Bukumi Dinale challenges is there are a lot of unemployment in the youth of Bukumi Dinale.
Reverend Father Geoffrey Tumusima has appealed to the young generation to aim at improving their livelihoods.
The Lord invites you during this Lenten season to make sure you correct all that what is not right and you put it right.
Deborah Namamonde, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
Yes. In sports, the Uganda International Badminton Challenge climax at the Rugogo Indoor Stadium in Kampala, with Vietnam's Lee Doit Phat winning the men's singles title as Akarashi Kashyap won the women's title.
Vietnam's Le Duc Phat ranked 86th in the world badminton's men's ranking, and Akashaf Kashyap from India ranked 40th in the world badminton ranking, were the stars of the 2024 Uganda International Badminton Challenge, as they all went away with 4,000 points each for winning their respective singles.
It's the first, I'm very happy because my performance very good in this tournament, and I not too much. I just try my best to play, and I will keep spirit for the next tournament. Yeah.
It really means a lot because I haven't won an international tournament for such a long time. So definitely I'm really happy, and also this was my second time in Uganda. So yeah, I'm happy that I have grabbed the winner's title. Definitely it has been added in my rankings, and it will help me to qualify for the Olympics.
Africa's top seed, Juan Operu of Nigeria, who was outshone by Le Duc Phat in the semi-finals, was still excited to make it that far in the tournament.
I feel very achieved because this is my first time in the semi-finals in the international challenge. I've been dreaming about getting to the podium. Every time I play in Uganda International Challenge, it's always a quarter-final for me, every time. Even at home, it's always quarter-final. That is always my bus stop. But this time around, I was able to make a breakthrough, and it was also a very important point for me towards the Olympic qualification. So I'm very happy, elated, and very much achieved.
While Uganda, who were the organizers, did not make it past the quarterfinals, they were happy for the lessons, as the Badminton Confederation of Africa commended the country for successfully hosting the event.
We expected our players to put on a good fight. As coach, I appreciate what they did, and the work we have to do is a lot, and I'm sure it will happen with time.
The level has been exceptionally high.
We are happy, first of all, for Uganda being able to host such a big tournament with a record of 49 countries all over the world coming. This is a special event for us because, first of all, it's part of the Paris 2024 Olympics Games qualification tournaments. That's why you are seeing a lot of players from all over the world coming in. The level, of course, has to be very high, but our takeaway home is that for the first time, we've had an African player going to the semis and getting a silver medal.
The tournament, sanctioned by the Badminton World Federation and also an Olympic qualifier, ran from February 21st to 25th at the Lugogo Indoor Stadium in Kampala, Uganda.
That is all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomo with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Catch you tomorrow in other programs. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.